Yes. So, hello everyone. Welcome you all for today's awesome success stories podcast. And we have an amazing guest here. So, Rashmi ma'am, so will be a very special guest to I'm all excited to decode her journey of the success. So, welcome you, ma'am, for today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for having me here. I have seen your excitement, and that's making me very enthusiastic about this session.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. And before moving ahead, I want to introduce Rashmi, ma'am, to all of you, those who are watching here. So I want to give the short introduction about her. So we have that Rashmi Rao, so who is an internationally certified image consultant and self-leadership coach, helping the students and professionals to break their personal barriers and to step up for the success. And she is also recently voted in the top 25 motivational speaker at all India super speaker contest, which is conducted by the success camp. And her rise model for self leadership has benefited so many individuals for to not only setting up the goal and also achieving all of their goals. And today she's not just that, she's also actively engaging in organizing and events and exhibition, and especially to promote the art and culture, right? So just about short introduction about today's guest. So I'm all excited to know a lot more things from you, ma'am. And so now let's all start it for to start decoding the one after the other success secret from her. So ma'am, just I want to know about more things from you. So that how did your journey started, ma'am? What is the thought process that you had before, and how you became the kind of person who you are today?
Well, Pallavi, if I have to speak about how it all began, I think while every memorable experience right from my childhood has shaped me into what I am today, one turning point that I could say really started off my journey in this field was me joining the NCC during way back, almost 19 years back, during my graduation. So, joining the NCC put me into challenges almost every day, and I had to keep, stepping out of my comfort zone, taking up new opportunities, managing teams. We had so many cadets to lead, and all of those experiences, I attended, I think, 20 plus camps across those 3 years throughout the country, meeting people and fellow cadets from across the country again. So all of this really shaped me into a different person altogether at that stage. And from then on till now, life has been full of transitions. I have moved places and lived across the country again during this past decade and a half, and worked in almost several different professions that I've taken up. But all in all, I think these experiences that I've had in my early teenage have let me be so excited about facing change, facing transition, that it's never been difficult. It's been a very challenging journey, which has just evolved me as a person, and even I've been able to evolve professionally by that. So where I am today, yes, I am into the space of training, coaching, and I've been a mentor for many years now in the field of soft skills and image consultancy. I also work for an organization and take care of their administration, operations, branding, and social media marketing and things like that. So the working with the organization makes me, actually very satisfied because I love working with people. So rather than staying in isolation, this helps me balance my interest in working with a team, having new ideas pouring in, and you're actually meeting people with the same kind of energy levels who want to be innovating each day. So that really satisfies me there. Besides, I'm into coaching and training, as you know. So I have my clients. Anyone who comes into my space is someone who really has goals and aspirations and wants to step up their game. So what we do together is a very beautiful thing. We set goals, we set strategies, and we work together and collaborate and do everything that it takes to take them from where they are now to where they want to be. So that's a little about what I do.
Yes, ma'am. Like I got really understood that you have that mission that you want to like to connecting with the people, reaching out them, so helping them out. So that's an awesome thing, ma'am. Like I really inspired the way how you shared it and the, what is the thought process that what you have, and like I really want to know that like what every day makes you like waking up in the early morning and gives that energy to start your work. Like what really triggers you to do that every single day without like sometimes you may feel like, oh today let me take the rest, but you have that courage like every day I want to wake up and with the same mission and serving the people. So what triggers you, ma'am?
Yeah, Pallavi, I think you always know you're in the right space uh, when you feel restless about not working, not keeping up with what your routine is, and when you're so passionately driven towards what you want to do, there's an emotional connect with your work, and therefore work doesn't seem like work, and that's the best space to be in. And thankfully, after a lot of transitions that I have gone through, I have kept connecting the dots, and finally found my true purpose, where I have that satisfaction that I can wake up at any time. If I have my coaching clients who have their own routine, and so sometimes there are 5 a.m. sessions, and I'm all up and game for that as well. So, if you're really happy in what you do and you get that fulfillment, you're ready to do anything that it takes for it.
Yes, ma'am. Like I thought, like I really thought, like when you have shared that, when you have this strong mission, like what you want to do, like you have the when you see that happiness in what you are doing. So no matter what, like, you'll be whatever the challenges comes, you will be having that strong thing that I want to make it happen. So every day you'll get that excitement and energy towards what you are doing without having that strong vision. Like you have this strong purpose in you to make it happen, right? So that is what like I really I'm really happy that hearing this is what helpful for many people. So many people they get into the laziness or they want to do something but still so they're postponing the things, right? So now like I really want to know about things like how did you like when you started your journey in the beginning. So have anyone shared you that why you want to go for this coaching industry, you can go and do some jobs, and why you want all these things. So how did you manage all these things, ma'am?
Oh yes, that's I think that happens with everyone, and it did happen with me as well. And the most common thing you hear from people about is about coaching as per se is that these days anybody calls themselves a coach. So why do you want to get into that space? And you'll be like just another person, just another trainer, just another coach, and it's going to be really difficult to make your name there. So now these are your well wishers, so you acknowledge them. I do acknowledge them for their concern, but at the same time, there's a strong sense of self belief that you need to have. Now, I know I'm not here to be just another coach. I am learning every day. I have been trained by mentors who are known to be masters of masters across the world, and there's a lot of energy that I'm putting in while I learn. There's a lot of energy that I'm putting in, a very positive energy, while I share my learnings with my mentees, right? So, this experience that we all have while we learn, while we share our learnings, while we collaborate with other coaches in our circle is a very different energy altogether. I speak about energy all the time because I think that's finally what matters. If you don't bring in that positive spirit, that positive energy into your work, there's something missing, and everybody can sense that, right? That passion, if it is missing, then it's just another thing that someone is doing. So I definitely acknowledge people who share their concerns, but I keep doing what I'm doing because I know what we are here to contribute, and I have that purpose, that vision very clear in my mind of what I want to do. And I can see that a lot of people need it. Like you mentioned about laziness, like you mentioned about not going ahead with things that you set your goals with. I can see that potential lying within people, and they just don't know how to go about. reaching their targets. What is the right way? And if I'm able to contribute to their success, I think it's something that I should not stop myself from doing. So this service mindset has always been there, right from the early days. So there are different ways in which I can contribute. I work with students across age groups, right from, put me along with nursery kids, toddlers, or put me with professionals who are officers. And just 2 days back, I was at the prison with, interacting with the inmates in the jail. So my whole domain is of self leadership. And self leadership is something that is exactly what you mentioned about people requiring to take ownership of their lives. Most often, what we are doing is we either, uh, our thoughts are lingering in the past, repentance, there's guilt, there's so much of this should not have happened, that should not have happened, or why did this happen to me? And then we are always worrying about the future, but what we forget is to live in the moment. And this moment, which is mine, what can I do to serve myself? Instead of blaming XYZ for whatever has happened in my life, what can I do to make my life better today? This is something we really forget to introspect and take action upon. And that's where I bring my clients into that space where they learn to take ownership of their life. And the moment they go into the self pity zone or blame game zone, it's my job to kind of bring them back and hold them there where they start taking action for themselves. And this is what brings in results. Action is what brings in results. Only dreaming, having goals, writing down goals is not what takes people. So that's why you have a lot of people who write their goals, they have their goals, but they don't accomplish them. And what creates change makers, what creates accomplishers is that action with a strategy, of course. And that's what we do in our coaching space. So yes, coming back to what your question was, is people will be there who try to pull you down. There are many people who are well-wishers and they want to hold you back for their own concerns. But there are also people who want to pull you down because they don't want to let you climb that ladder. So for those kind of people, I think awareness is the key. So for a lot of us who are into this space where we are putting up things on social media, there would be people who would, kind of take up your content, attend your sessions, go market it in their own way. A lot of things keep happening. But staying aware, not developing too much of negative feelings regarding this, just awareness and setting your own boundaries, keeping your safe distance is what I feel is the solution for it. Because any extra time and energy, this kind of events don't deserve that. So I keep myself focused on what my work is, on what I need to do, and for anything else that's happening, I just acknowledge it and kind of keep my boundaries in place for that.
Yes, ma'am. Like this is what I really thought. Like when whatever you do, whatever you start your journey as in wherever in the world or whichever the career you choose. But there are some people always have that, like there's a 1% dandruff to always pull their legs, right? So that is why we need to aware that what kind of tribes that we want to attract. Those who really want to connect with us, like they'll definitely connect. So whatever you do,
They
they'll
will
understand.
connect. And there's room for everyone. The kind of people I am fortunately surrounded with, my mentors, my fellow coaches, the tribe, we all believe in one thing, that there is enough for everyone. So you don't have to get into this thing of even holding back your knowledge. None of us really. If I know something, if I know someone needs it, I'm ready there to share. So we don't look at each others as competitors. We don't look at each other, with the spirit of, oh no, we should not let each other go ahead. There's room for everyone, and we are so happy growing together. I and my fellow coach friends, we are seeing our journey, we are seeing each other grow together, and we are so happy for each other that we celebrate each other's wins together, right? So that spirit of collaboration is something which is a fuel for all of us to keep going ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Like that's always like that. So those who are not our kind of tribe, they always pull our like. So those who have the same mission, they always celebrate each other each other wins, and we always support each other to grow together, right? So that is what I really understood, and this is what I really wanted, because I felt most of the times if I'm started worrying, if somebody started telling that why you're not going job and you can, why you're doing all these things, so that is why I understood that. So I have to set my boundaries. I want to attract the tribe of people whom I want to be surrounded myself. So that's what the great secret that I understood today. And I really want to understand one more thing from you, ma'am. Like, what is the your daily practices? Like, what is the daily rituals? Because every success will not comes in a one day. Like, we'll be having the daily rituals, and we'll be having that every day. The feed, like the building will not be happening in a one day. Like every day, the habits, the rituals that makes the building bigger and bigger and stronger. So that is, I want to know, like, what is that your daily practices, what you will do every single day to bring that result, bring that success back. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll be very honest here, Pallavi. There are people who really follow a fixed daily ritual that and as we also recommend, which is highly beneficial to have your reading your goals or writing them down, having your affirmations in place, and going through them every day so that there's a constant reinforcement. Now, I do all of this. I do express my gratitude and all of those things that are required. But of course, I must admit that it's not like a fixed routine, whether I do it in the mornings or in the evenings that's something I am working upon. Okay. So that indiscipline comes in, call it indiscipline or irregularity, because I don't have a fixed schedule. So at times I am starting my day at 5 directly for work, and sometimes it's evenings and late nights and whatever. So since I don't have a regular routine in my own lifestyle, I find it very difficult to establish that fixed routine to tell you, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I'm doing this. But however, saying that, success rituals, yes, I can share that. So I make it a point that I am learning each day, right? So learning is something that is indispensable for my daily routine. Learning does not necessarily mean learning new skills. It also involves a lot of learnings that I get from the experiences that I have in each day, right? So I may have coaching sessions, I may have some experiences at my workplace. I may have work experiences while I deal with my children at home. As a parent, you are a mentor for them as well, and there are a lot of things that you try to impart, and you have uh, a lot of response that you get from them, the way they take it, whether it works, whether it does not work. So there is learning that comes from everything that you're doing. A lot of our social skills, while we interact with people whom we deal with on our day-to-day basis in our neighborhood, in our community, everything brings in something. So the moment something strikes me, I do make it a point to take note of it, and go through it at the end of the day of all that happened and how I can utilize this. So learning from experiences and learning new skills, of course, that are required for you to excel. This is something that has really taken me far ahead in the past 2 3 years that I've been devoting time to this. Second thing is taking action. So whatever you learn, if it's just stored as knowledge, it does not really serve you. So putting things into immediate action is something that has really worked for me. Instead of waiting, there was a time when I would wait uh, to practice enough to feel that I'm perfect at it and then bring it out. But now what I do is I learn, I practice to some extent, and then I start delivering it. And then there's learning that happens on the go, right? So putting things into immediate action is something is definitely helping me scale up much faster. The third is collaborating with the right kind of people. The positive energy around you matters a lot. So sharing, growing together, when you share things, people share with you, and that really speeds up your growth journey. Because I learn something today. I have my coach friends who learn something, on their part every day. And while we have our quick calls and conversations, we learn from each other. So that implementation of each other's learnings also helps us grow much faster. So yeah, these are three things that come to my mind: collaborating with the right kind of people, learning, and putting things into action. This is something which I can vouch for. And besides, yes, there's extreme gratitude to all those who are contributing to my success. So I do begin my day with that, because nothing that comes to us is just because of our own effort, right? There's so many people who are contributing and acting as indispensable forces. And the moment you miss out on expressing your gratitude emotionally to all any of them, I think that feeling of celebration remains incomplete.
Yes, ma'am. Like that is what the most of people miss. Like they thought like learning from the books is enough. Like once of the learning, their experience, learning throughout the people around them, the every people, like everything teaches something every single day. Like once after learning that, and very important to take that action towards that. Like if we haven't learned from the mistake, like we keep repeating the same mistake. So once after learning and implementing that, and not just learning throughout something, like we can also surround ourselves with the right people that are learning from them, learning each other. So that is what help us that to every single day, like help us to reach one level next to that next day, right? So that is what I understood. And one more thing is like yeah, this is what like most of people who are watching this today's podcast, I want you to share like what are the five mistakes that you did, like if they avoid those mistakes, how they can reach the next level more faster. So that is why they can avoid those mistakes or avoid those things, so that you'll get the success more faster. So how you share that last message, best message for them?
Yes. So one of my most important mistakes that I was making was, as I shared, the perfectionist syndrome, right? So don't wait till you're perfect and just go ahead and start implementing things, because if you just keep waiting, then opportunities are just lost. So the moment you're never feeling that you're the best in the space. You're never going to feel that you're prepared. It's just that you take those opportunities as they come, set your deadlines, and if there's something. So today, for me, my mindset has just changed. If I know that somebody calls me up 2 days later, there's an engagement, maybe I've never done it before, but I know that, okay, this requires maybe 2 3 hours of preparation, some kind of background research on the topic and whatever. So I would just go ahead and say yes if I'm able to fit in those 2 3 hours, right? So you need to understand how much time any assignment or any activity actually deserves. And if you have that much time, then you just go ahead, prepare yourself, and take it up. So this has been one mistake that I was making, which I have been able to work upon. Second thing is learning to say no. So I used to say yes to almost everybody for anything, and I realized most of my time in the day would go fulfilling, the needs of others. So from being a people pleaser, I have no regrets in admitting that. From trying to keep everybody happy, and then feeling that sense of uh, guilt that, oh, I'm not accomplishing, I have a lot of potential, I can do this, I can do that, but yet I'm not doing it. So that guilt used to make me feel horrible about myself, and uh, feel that I'm not really using my time effectively. But then when I realized that I'm just responsible for it, because I am the one who's saying yes to everything, the moment I changed things and I learned to say no in a polite way, or at least what I do now is saying no also may be at times difficult, because some things fall into your responsibility, but you can always time it in such a way at your convenience that you do what you need to do at your time, and then in the remaining time, so there is a chunk of time that I've kept aside. I know that my responsibilities, whatever I have, say, need 2 3 hours of my day. So which are those 2 3 hours of the day is something I take control of. Okay. And not, so the idea is to not let your productive hours, peak productivity hours of the day, go here and there, and you work and get your best output in that time, and the rest of the day you're always there for others, right? So that's something that people can ensure, to make sure that you have control of your day. Having control of your day is very important. Besides, not that I think it's not my mistake, but it's one thing that has always worked for me right from my childhood till today. And I thank my parents for that. Uh, Never compare yourself to others. because that's what makes you always feel that everybody else is doing well, and how would you ever reach there. So I have always grown up in an environment where I was compared to my past. If I have done better than what I was yesterday, what I was last year, then it's worth celebrating, right? So I know there have been times where I felt, oh, I haven't performed. I've probably ranked way behind in the class, but my parents still celebrated those wins, and that is something I carry forward till today. I celebrate each win, because every time I step up my game, I have done better than what I was yesterday. And so long as you're moving ahead in your growth journey, you're doing a fantastic job, and you need to acknowledge yourself for that. Otherwise, the each day you would just be looking at others and feeling that, oh, where's the world reaching and where am I? You'll never be satisfied, you'll never be happy. So taking ownership of your own happiness is in your hands, and that will come by you comparing yourself with only your own progress. So three takeaways from there. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Like the my three learning here, like as you shared, like not to be go with that perfectionist mind. Like, but if we go with that, we'll never execute what we want. So, but like what I learned is like version one is better than version none. So go with what you have,
Yes.
right? So that is what. And the thing is, say no to no for something, because sometimes we have to value our time and value ourselves. Like we cannot like becoming the people pleaser. Then the next thing I really what this is what major link, because even I was having the same challenge, like whatever comes onto my hand, like I used to say yes, and I will keep my work aside and going with that thing, right? So that is what I learned. Really, that was really helpful for me, and I know for sure this will be really valuable for all the people those are watching this, right? Because I really got lot of golden values, golden nuggets from your journey to implement in my life, and to support and share it with as many people as possible, right? So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your very precious time with all your lot of schedules, and giving your precious time to be here and to share your journey, right? So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us, and I'm really very happy to be connecting with you back and to learn a lot more things from you. So yes, thank you so much, everyone, and
It's
I
been
hope you.
absolutely a delight, Pallavi, speaking with you, and whatever I've known of you in the past 1 week that we have interacted. I've observed that you are a thorough professional yourself, and it's a long way to go for you. Also, more power to you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the support. Yes, thank you, ma'am. And also, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, those who are watching this podcast, because you gave your very precious time to learn. And I want you like keep on sharing this message if you like. And if you thought like this will be very valuable and helpful for others, share this with as many people as possible. Yes, thank you for watching till the end.